have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out.
He's not a war hero.
He's a war hero.
He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
And then I watched this idiot Lindsey Graham on television today, and he calls me a jackass. He's a jackass.
The man of the toupee. This is on the front page of the New York Times.
We drink from this news hose all the time. Like, it's just, it's like it's not even the fire hose. It's a busted hydrant of news.
You think it's safe to drink from a fire hose?
Why not, Dad? It's just water.
All right, well, turn it on. I'm very thirsty. Nice job, Chris. You got my shirt wet.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and that's why no one can keep track of anything. You know, it's the thing Bannon said they planned to do back in 2016, flooding the zone with shit was his exact quote, because they knew that our news media can barely handle 2 stories at the same time, much less 47.
Well, I would argue that is also true of the maggots as well, because I tweeted, I sheeted earlier, because when it's spelled with an X, it's shit. I sheeted earlier that the one upside to maggots losing interest in the in the Springfield in giving FEMA people death threats was that they have left the people of Springfield alone.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
They are, like, for all the fact that the news is
to people working hard to save people in North and South Carolina. So it's good.
Right.
You want to switch off who you're threatening, right? You know, it's
I don't think
when it's just the same
it's too
people.
Exhausting. I don't know who I'm going to death threat today in MAGA world. Now, obviously, so we will see. Let me pop this out, and we will see if this ends up being, as big a part of the news cycle as it should be. Because I got to say, none of what Trump says is news to anyone who's been paying attention.
You brag that you have sexually assaulted women. Do you understand that?
No, I didn't say that at all. I don't think you understood what was said. This was locker room talk.
Every woman lied when they came forward to hurt my campaign.
Believe me, she would not be my first choice, that I can tell you.
You take a look at her words. You tell me what you think. I don't think so. I don't think so.
It's news, I think, only in some cases because he finally says something out loud. That he finally, like when the dictator comment was an absolute truth moment for him.
You are promising America tonight you would never abuse power as retribution against anybody.
Except for day one.
Except
Look,
what?
he's going crazy. Except for day one.
Meaning?
I want to close the border, and I want to drill.
That's not retribution. I'm
gonna be, he keeps, we love this guy. He says, you're not gonna be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one. We're closing the border, and we're drilling.
And then he tried to walk it back, and Sean Hannity tried to help him put the toothpaste back in the tube. But everybody gets it. Nobody's dictator for one day and then gives that power up. It's ridiculous. Of course, Trump would sign a nationwide abortion ban, but of course he's going to lie about it.
He wouldn't even sign a congressional one. He'd sign an executive order, and the Supreme Court would find a way to say it worked. He'd sign an executive order on 4,000% tariffs. And our economy would completely go into a tailspin, which, by the way, is what he wants and what they want, the crypto bros, because then they can do their best to try to say, you can't trust the American dollar, put all of your money in crypto. I mean, there's just a number of ways that he obviously benefits from chaos. Markets and foreign policy don't do well with chaos, and those are the 2 areas where, and they're related, both related to him just wanting to pocket money, where he can f things up the worst with what he does. Because if he can cause enough chaos that NATO, sort of in some ways at least spiritually falls apart and embraces Erdogan and Orban and Putin's obvious and Xi and the rest of them.
North Korea, this guy, he's like a maniac, okay? And you got to give him credit.
That's a famous Mussolini quote. You retweeted it.
You like the quote? Did you know it was
Sure.
Mussolini?
It's okay to know it's Mussolini. Look, Mussolini was Mussolini. It's okay to. It's a very good quote. It's a very interesting quote.
I mean, I'm just talking about David Duke and the Ku Klux Klan here, but
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know David Duke. I don't believe I've ever met him. I'm pretty sure I didn't meet him, and I just don't know anything about him.
He can realign a world order, and he can with markets and our dollar and try to grift that way. And I mean, those are the if you're the people around him, you get that those two areas rely the most on consistency, stability. So there's money to be made off of letting him go buck wild.
He said I had small hands. Actually, I'm 6'3", not 6'2", but he said I had small hands. They're not small, are they? I never heard that one before. Donald Trump has small hands. So I said, small hands. These guys know. I hit a ball 280 yards. Stand up, my club champion, stand up. Do I hit the ball good? Do I hit it long? Is Trump strong? Huh?
He referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee it.